I will continue now. That is to illustrate that we are receiving God's law because He loves us. But man is small in nature, and that smallness is what causes war, because it doesn't accept the difference in perceptions of God's law. So I will stop there and now talk about the children. Before I continue with the children, I want to say to the Islamic State, you were created because you want orthodoxy. Some of you want the Sharia law or the Islamic law. You may call it the Hanafi, Maliki, Shafis, Hanbalis, founders of their own concoctions of law. With what authority is the Quran alone should suffice. Now, who are these children freezing tonight? Those anonymous faces are living in improvised shacks in Aleppo and other cities that have been destroyed by war and terrorists. Terrorists, my darlings, that I will say is you combine the countries and the people of the Arab land, you will have around 500 million people in population, and you are only 30,000, and you may kill 10,000 or 20,000 people and destroy cities, and you are robbing yourself and your families from a country where to belong, from its resources that are limited, because in the Arab world water is precious. You are deterring the future of the nations, for it's gonna be made by a humanity of ignorant children wounded by the disappearance of adult leadership since their parents are dying and they're being misplaced and they're suffering the climate and the starvation and fear and terror, all living in their little minds, bodies and soul. A terrible one. They are begging for our love and they are begging for our help. I, as the Anointed, have asked certain leaders in Twitters to help me with a gala, and they have ignored my call. A call that shouldn't be ignored at all, because I don't care in dying for the children. For if those that say that they love Quran and they love Allah and they kill for Allah the infidels, I will tell you, my darlings, don't kill the infidels with weapons. Kill it with instruction. Because the fingerprint of Allah, the great Creator, is life. With what authority you take the life? When He say destroy the ignorance, it means enlighten them by instruction. And I say more. I say a man that wants to move a nation should start by moving the heart of that nation. Not with lies, but with deeds of peace and love. You have Paul, Syria, and other countries that are with civil wars in a structure that is destroying them and converting them from prosperity into impoverished areas of third countries. Mankind and I would say political union organizations like the UN have outlined certain areas to work with for the betterment of humanity and the countries that constitute the world. They call sustainable goals. I read the sustainable goals and I said they are not feasible if there is no peace to implement them. How can you work to implement things like 1. No poverty, 2. Zero hunger, 3. Good health, quality education, 4. Gender equality, 5. Clean water and sanitation, 6. 7. Affordable and clean energy, 8. I would say recent work and economic growth, available work and economic growth. 9. Industry, innovation and infrastructure. 10. We have reduction of income inequalities among countries. 11. Sustainable cities and community. 12. Responsible consumption and production. 13. Climate change, control pollution. 14. Life below water and protection of it, of resources. 16. Peace, justice and a strong institution. 17. Partnership for the goals, the consecution of these goals. Let me see a moment if I can find them I copied them better and it has been difficult for me to read them. Here it is. Yes, let me see. When I said life on land, okay, life on land, that was the 15. 14. Life below the water, that means fishery. You should call things for what they are, make it simple. But these sustainable development goals are not in the right order either if you want to affect humanity. First, let's implement peace. Let's stop war. War is not only a problem of Islamic countries. War also means the stop of nuclear weapons, the stop of chemical weapons. Nuclear and chemical weapons affect all of us. Is nuclear, how far away from your own land can you shoot a nuclear bomb? I think that with the technology as it goes, the plane carrying it may fall in between, inflicting harm to neighbors, and the air and the water and the climate will blow that to your own land, or retaliation will do the rest. If you are for chemical weapons, what use was to it when you cannot use the land or the structures that are being left for it's all polluted and contaminated, not only by the carcasses left behind, but by the chemicals that you have exposed them to. So, having said that, let's continue with the criticism to the order of the sustainable goals. Once you stop war, that is the first step. You must provide shelter. So the people, the humanity of that nation, the citizenship of that nation will be protected from the elements, will be centered in a place where you can feed them and clothe them. So first, then is location, logistics. Second, food, zero hunger. I go with that one. You had to provide food in order for the body to be healthy. You had to provide food for the mind in order for the mind to be healthy. And you had to provide healing in order for the soul to be healthy. So I think that those go before good health and well-being. And in order to provide all those things, if you are provided for hunger, you are providing clean water. How you're going to administer food without water? That goes hand in hand. Then, once those basic needs are fulfilled, let's rebuild the nation. You will start by creating sustainable cities, affordable housing. Affordable housing will lead to development and hire the people to construct the housing, so they have a salary, and reorganize your economic system. If you feed a man one day, give him a fish, that's what he eats, and then he'll be done and be hungry for the rest of his life. A Chinese proverb. But teach him to fish, and he can get his food and be fed for the rest of his life. Therefore, we had to provide those instruments. Food production has to come. At the same time, they were providing jobs. I would say I will skip some of this, and I will criticize a little bit climate control. We cannot do anything about it, but we can protect ourselves by shelters and some other things. Energy. That is another area that is important. We cannot raise the cost of energy with so many limitations, but we can try to protect the land and recycle and use forms of energies that are feasible. What about if we make a compromise? If we are depleting ozone, let's find areas where we can create and produce ozone. We can produce that. And about the partnership for the goals, you do well. I haven't seen any actions, and actions have to be taken at citizens level. When Islam is trying to get a global caliphate, my darlings, that is impossible, because we say that we are people of different languages and different ethnicities, and what is good for one person is not good for your brother that is not of your same race. To develop a country, you must establish a cycle in which society are producers and not only consumers. You have to establish also a way in which people is rewarded by their production and is motivated to do their best for their country. And okay, communism comes out because we want to make everybody happy, and it's an oligarchy because the ones in power are the ones that are well, and the rest of the people is equal poverty. Same thing with socialism, destroys all the institutions of the country, and usually the socialist people, like it happened in Venezuela, took off with the national treasure, millions of dollars, Swiss account, and bye-bye. So there gotta be a way. We had to reinject the money that is earned into the economy, and it's like a lake with spring water or the water of a river flowing continuously and not getting stale and dying. People, a man should produce his own food to avoid starvation. And communism and socialism should allow capitalistic development, for in that way we would be sharing wealth and not poverty, and no privileged vices of hunger of body, mind, and spirit. We had to develop a responsible capitalism that is the essence of humanity, because I am a believer, and I speak to you as a believer, and in every one of the main religions you will know that when man was created and kicked out of paradise for disobedience, he was set to toil and to earn their living. Well, if we are earning our living, we must always do like the Native Americans and replenish the land for what we take, and take only what we need. With that said,